What's up, everybody? I'm back. It's Thursday, and in my most likely not showable video yet, apparently there's new Black Veil Brides. So I'm covering the new Black Veil Brides song "Bleeders." The video came out like a month ago, I think. So it's not like it dropped today, but it's reasonably new. I have not listened to Black Veil Brides ever. I have seen them live against my really wishes. They were opening for a band that I was there to see. I guess they were the headliners for a band I was there to see. Did not get into them when they were first big. So now, much later, more mature, take a look, see what we think. Before I get into it, a couple things. Got my coffee, as always. Black, just to thematically appropriate. I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional. I'm not a vocal coach. So I'm not going to be going too into the weeds. Please don't expect that. And please don't be a dick in the comments. Whether or not I like a song, I try to be thoughtful with how I talk about it. I try to find what's good about it. So I would just ask that you take this as my opinion and not as an indictment on your musical taste if I end up not liking it. I don't know. I might. With that out of the way, let's get into it. This is Bleeders by Black Veil Brides.
Would you ever believe that a fire is set each time I try to sleep? With all the beautiful friends that you always depend to stay in the light of fame. They want you there to save a life, but only if you're dressed in what they like. You sin for fun and fall away. You're just a pawn. Aren't you lucky you're a bleeder?
Okay. Well, it's a cool video. Um, Clearly very Sweeney Todd inspired. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's like overt. I assume it is. I assume they talked about in the making of that this is like very referential to Sweeney Todd. Weird to me to make that video now, considering that movie came out like in 2007 or something, back before we all knew Johnny Depp sucked. Um, Back before we knew that, who was it, Jinx? Somebody in Black Veil Brides was a child creep, if I recall correctly, or a spouse abuser. I can't remember. I know there was drama with that. I think that they have excised that member, if I remember. So, very competently done, right? These guys are good musicians. Andy is a good vocalist. The drummer mostly didn't have much to do, but he got a couple nice double bass runs to kind of show off, which I liked. You saw me giving the thumbs up because I like it. It's like, hey, you're doing something, right? The guitars, bass, right? That's all fine. Aesthetically, cool, right? Very emo, very dark and gothic, which is again, like this is all of these notes are the right notes to hit for me. And yet, I did see them live, right? Many years ago. It was Motionless in White, William Control from Aiden, who is also a sex pervert. He's thoroughly canceled and appropriately so. We didn't know that at the time. And Black Veil Brides. And I was there for Motionless in White because that's what I was into at the time. This was before they had blown up. They were actually opening or they were the second act, right, for Black Veil Brides. They weren't headlining. And I had the opinion going to the concert based on cover art and maybe one song from Black Veil Brides, Stitches and Scars or whatever. I don't remember. Their big hit from 2009 or whatever it was, 2011. I remember looking at that going, this music is not made for me. And then I went to the show. And what I noticed was that there was me there to mosh and, get sweaty and beat up a little bit in the pit. And hundreds of 14-year-old girls and their boyfriends who didn't want to be there. That's what I saw. I had never seen somebody get their clothes ripped to shreds off their body before, but I did at that concert. Andy leaned down towards the crowd, and the girls shredded his clothes, just his shirt, right off of him. And power to you. If you can connect with that audience, you will have staying power. You will make money in this industry, right? Catering to people like me, that's not the best route to staying power. Catering to middle school and high school girls, that's a good path to commercial success. And again, I say this with respect, right? Because I have no I don't have any reason to believe that they don't care about the music that they make, that they don't feel strongly about the art they're creating. I know Andy is really into the theatrical side of things. He was really into like Kiss and stuff. So all of that is great and they're good at what they do. But it still feels like it's made for middle school girls. That's fine. That's totally acceptable. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who aren't middle school girls who like it. I have a really hard time buying his performance vocally as metal, right? To me, he is doing the same sort of vocals as you could get from an Imagine Dragons song again, not to be offensive. I'm not trying to be offensive here. I'm not trying to start any fights. I'm just saying I don't hear in his voice the power or wildness or range that I want from somebody who is doing music that is meant to be heavy, right? And this maybe is not meant to be heavy. This is maybe meant to be gothic pop. Really what it is, what he really likes is like 70s and 80s glam metal, hair metal, theatrical, right? So maybe that. Maybe that's what he's trying to do, and that's totally fine. I also don't find those bands very heavy, right? You don't have to be heavy. That it's not required. The reason I keep saying that is because this has the trappings of a band that's trying to be, ballsy and like rockin'. And they're not bad. Their music is loud. There are a lot of people that would dislike it and think it's too heavy. But to me, it just feels like it's not, there's a box they're not checking. And I don't really know how to describe it better than that. Switchfoot, really changing gears here, but Switchfoot was the same thing to me, which was Switchfoot was a light rock, easy listening, radio friendly band that was sort of billed to us Christians as like a really rockin' alternative to mainstream music, right? And that's not it. They were not making that kind of music. It's okay. There's no law that says they have to make that kind of music. But when I heard about Switchfoot versus when I listened to Switchfoot, I got two different pictures in my head. When I look at Black Veil Brides, when I think about the sort of aesthetic, the storytelling, all that, when I look at that, I expect a different product musically than what I get. I clearly am in the minority because they are very successful still. It's been like 15 years and people still are interested in this band. So more power to them. Credit to them for being successful, making music that people like. It just doesn't draw me in. But hey, it's been like nearly 15 years since the last time I have intentionally listened to a Black Veil Brides song. My tastes have changed in that time, but not enough for me to want to bring this back into the rotation. So that's my review. It's great if you like it. Well done. Well made. Not for me. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Drink lots of water and don't talk to cops.